Hi everyone, just a quick one from Editing Me here. I was trying a different mic technique to get rid of mouth sounds. I was trying to take some feedback on board. I know that this room is really small and really soundproof, so it picks up all the little mouth sounds when I talk, and I was trying some different techniques that I saw online and it really didn't work. So I'm really sorry. You can really hear the mic and the sound going in and out throughout this episode, so I apologize. This week of Mini Scroll is sponsored by Qatar Airways Student Club Loyalty Program. As you all know, last week one of my founder dreams came to fruition when I spoke at Web Summit in Doha, and Qatar Airways helped make that dream happen for me. But it's not just me. I'm sure you guys have all scrolled past travel videos on TikTok and dreamed about actually going. And now, with Qatar Airways Student Club, those travel dreams are more attainable than ever. Qatar Airways Student Club, powered by Privilege Club, where members earn and redeem Avios, offers students extra perks when traveling, whether it's heading home for the holidays or just taking a well-earned break. You can even earn points through One World Alliance Airlines and Virgin Australia's Velocity Frequent Flyer program when you fly from Australia. Students can get savings on flights as well as an extra 10 kilograms of baggage allowance, which is perfect for chronic overspenders and overpackers like me. The best part, it's free to join. Visit QatarAirways.com/student club. A big thank you to Qatar Airways Student Club for supporting Mini Scroll and helping make our dreams a reality. Hi everyone, welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. I'm trying a new mic placement today so that I can hopefully avoid mouth sounds. So if it sounds a little different, I worry that it's going to sound a bit like farther away, like more tinny, but hopefully it will help with the mouth sounds. All right, the first story that I have for you guys is I'm going to break down the drama going on between Tana Mongeau, Joey Graceffa, Rosanna Pansino, and Trisha Paytas. There has been a big feud going on right now between these YouTubers, and it seems to have resulted in the ending of Rosanna Pansino's friendship with Tana and Trisha. This feud started when Tana went on her podcast, Canceled, recently, and spoke about two things. First, she talked about a negative experience that she had on the set of a movie. Now, she didn't say the name of the production, but it was pretty clear that she was talking about Escape the Night. Escape the Night is created by Joey Graceffa, and he crowdfunded to be able to produce another version of this without YouTube Red.
Little side quest with one of these horror actors, okay? And so I get dragged into a freezer. Okay. And then they're like, okay, your next scene is that you're going to be chained to the ceiling. I'm just in this freezer, chained to the ceiling with a man in a horror mask, right? And he starts talking to me. And this man looks at me. I swear to through the mask, I don't know what he looks like. And he looks at me and he says, "This is my dream, having you chained up."
Second, Tana, Brooke, and Paige also spoke about a YouTuber that they know who smoked her father's ashes. Again, they didn't name names, but it was clear that this was about Rosanna Pansino because Rosanna has been open about the fact that her father's wish when he passed away was for her to do this. So then Tana went on Just Trish and opened up more about her experience on Escape the Night. They also talked more about Rosanna smoking her dad's ashes, and they laughed about it, with Trish saying that she knows that it's true because Rosanna texted her before she did it. He went on Just Trish and he talked about what Tana said, Tana's story of Escape the Night. And when he addressed these claims, he kind of just diminished them, really. And this upset Tana. So she talked about it again on the Canceled podcast. Now, this ended up leading Joey to apologize. I guess when Trisha's episode came out with Tana, this is when more came to light. He apologized to Tana, and Oscar from Just Trish read a statement from Joey on the podcast.
See why she can't handle things offline. I apologize to her for how I talked about it on the pod, though, and I was just being playful. I think Tana's been hurt by a lot of people and put me in the same boat of people who have wronged her with people with bad intentions, but I genuinely feel bad and was shocked by her reaction, and I instantly texted her. And we also handled it on set, too.
this probably all would have fizzled out. But then this week, Rosanna released a podcast episode with her partner where they talked about Tana's claims and also addressed Trisha and Tana laughing about smoking her father's ashes. In this episode, Rosanna and her partner definitely belittled Tana's experience and questioned if they can believe her when they claim that she lies about a lot of little things for shock value, or at least over-exaggerates things for shock value. So they were like, it's hard to believe you about the bigger things when you constantly exaggerate about the smaller things.
In 2 different videos, she said it's mainstream when she's expressing gratitude for the project. And then when she's shitting on it, she calls it niche and little, like she's bigger
It's
and
like belittling it.
like better than it. And an old friend hits her up to be in it, and she kind of is giving off the impression how she's speaking about it, the tone, the manner is that like she's doing the project out of charity, sympathy. She did the least amount of work on this project. She had the shortest time on set. And she complained the most.
Yeah.
She was in a bad mood all day.
So just based on what I saw in person with my own eyes, it already proves, in my opinion, that she is either exaggerating or just lying.
No one was locked in there. That is a flat out lie. And then you're making people think that your safety was at risk, that you were locked in there when you weren't. These ladies have done a lot of things that I wouldn't do. And I have never judged them.
Now, Trisha has responded to Rosanna's podcast episode, and it sounds like she and Moses have decided to cut ties with Rosanna, or at least they feel like there's no coming back from this.
I'm sorry, the whole thing, honestly. Like, when Joey came on, I really thought it was just a fun little thing. I didn't know about Tana's experience. Tana come on, and it came very heavy. We actually cut a lot from that episode. Her experience was a lot, and I felt really sad for her. And then now that her stuff has just become drama.
I guess this is one of the consequences. We could be seeing one of the consequences of a group of friends. I don't know if they were like in a group of friends, but friends all having similar-ish podcasts where they talk about like internet drama and creators and what's happening online, and they're all in that world themselves. So of course they're going to talk about not only their own experiences, but sometimes each other's experiences, because sometimes they will be the topic of those conversations and those stories. And I think that this is probably part of the consequence of that. I think the way people have belittled Tana's experience is just not okay. I understand she might be a nightmare to work with. I think that's probably something that people know by now. Like, we know this as the audience. I assume people in the industry know that by now. Maybe not a nightmare, but she doesn't have the most pristine reputation when it comes to her working experience and like how she kind of conducts herself. But I don't think that diminishes or takes away from the experience that she is sharing. And I think hearing the way that Rosanna, but particularly her partner, talked about Tana was very icky. Like, I did not like this grown man talking about Tana that way. All right, the next story that I have for you guys, this is a happy story. Gabby Windey and Robby Hoffman are married. So I don't think I've ever covered Gabby and Robby on this podcast, but they are literally one of my favorite couples to follow lately. Gabby Windey got her start on the Bachelor franchises, but she has since made quite a name for herself in the podcasting and TikTok space because the public persona that she gives us is so weird and funny. She was also on Traitors this season, and that exposed her to like a whole new audience. And now her public profile is literally taking off. Like, she is the next big thing in podcasting and influencing. She's just like so unique and kooky and funny and for the girls. I love her. So after her Bachelor fame, Gabby came out as queer when she started dating writer and comedian Robby Hoffman in 2023. And they revealed today in an interview with Cosmo and also on their Instagram that in January they got married. And this all came about because they had to evacuate LA during the fires, and they ended up evacuating to Las Vegas. They got upgraded to this like beautiful penthouse, and Gabby was like, this is kind of giving marriage vibes, like, should we get married? And Robby was like, I'd been proposing to Gabby literally every day all the time since we started dating. But it was the first time that she was like, maybe we should do this. And then because Robby was planning on like seriously proposing to Gabby 6 months later, she had some things in place for it. So she officially proposed to Gabby with, I think it was Wordle or like the New York Times crossword. And then they got married in Vegas, and it was just like so cute. I mean, the pictures, adorable. They walked down the aisle to Hot to Go. Just like such a vibe. I love a spontaneous moment like that. Speaking of popular podcasters, my next story is a less wholesome story. Hannah Berner is facing backlash for the Vanity Fair Oscar party red carpet interviews that she did with Paige DeSorbo. So Hannah Berner is a comedian and the co-host of the Giggly Squad podcast, and she is facing pretty intense backlash for her red carpet interviews at the Vanity Fair Oscar party. For context, Giggly Squad is a pop culture / just like chatty best friend podcast co-hosted by Hannah Berner and Paige DeSorbo. Hannah and Paige got their start on Bravo's Summer House, which is why I haven't really talked about them. I do try and steer away from like reality TV. I mean, I'm like obsessed with Bravo, as you guys know, and reality TV is like ironic because I've literally published like full interviews with Bravo stars on this podcast before, but I know that it's not really like the crux of what you guys care about, but I care about it deeply. But I also don't necessarily want to like ruin it for myself, which is partly why I like to keep it off of the podcast as well. But this is just all of these worlds combining for me. So Paige and Hannah, like I said, got their start on Bravo's Summer House. Hannah was eventually not asked back to the show after she had a really bad season, and she fought a lot with the show's kind of principal guy at the time, Kyle Cook. Paige has remained on Summer House. So Paige and Hannah's podcast, Giggly Squad, has literally skyrocketed in the past probably like 18 months. And Hannah even landed her own Netflix comedy special last year, partly because of this new era of her career. So she started posting on TikTok a lot, like her comedy stuff after she got fired from Bravo, and that really took off. And then Giggly Squad really took off, and you know, now she has this Netflix special, and like they are just in their like true celebrity era. Like they are really moving beyond the Bravo universe, which is honestly hard. We haven't seen a lot of Bravo celebs be able to do that well. So of course, part of this is they got this opportunity to host red carpet interviews for the Vanity Fair Oscars party. And that opportunity didn't go well. So I do want to preface by saying I am, obviously, like I said, a huge Bravo fan, but I'm actually not a giggler. I've never listened to Giggly Squad, but I would say I have loved watching them from afar, kind of like succeed in this new era of their careers, especially Hannah getting this like second wind. However, I fear this may be crumbling. So there are 3 moments where Hannah was micro, or honestly, arguably macro aggressive to celebrities on the red carpet. First, Hannah told Megan Thee Stallion that her music makes her want to fight. This is the biggest one that's been going around. When Megan tried to steer the conversation in a different direction, Hannah kept going and talking over Megan. To be honest, she talked over everyone, and apparently this is a problem on Giggly Squad. Apparently she does this a lot on Giggly Squad.
Wait, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry.
No,
We're
I'm
live.
crying. No,
This is a live stream.
No, I know. No, your music has literally like
Changed
made
our
me
life.
want. When I want to fight someone, I
Are you
listen to your
legit
music.
tearing up?
No, I'm
Because
tearing
you
up.
want to throw that fighting shit out the window and you want to
Yeah.
get cute and be a bad bitch.
When people are talking shit, I go turn on Megan Thee
Body, yada,
Stallion.
yada. I look
Body,
beautiful.
yada,
I look
yada.
so great.
Wait, no, you look so good. But I know, because I watched your documentary, you've been through so many dark things.
So a couple things here. Obviously, Megan is a Black woman. So why does her music, in your mind, make you think that you want to fight? Like, why is that the association that you have? Because that is not what Megan's music is about. Her music is about self-confidence. It's about her mental health. It's about empowerment. Second, Megan is also the victim of a violent assault. So that comment is even more inappropriate. Now, the next 2 moments, I didn't catch myself, but according to people all over the internet, she, like Hannah, also asked Coco Jones if she can dunk a basketball. Coco is a Black woman and a singer-songwriter actress. Nothing to do with basketball. And she asked Bowen Yang and Matt Roger, who are both gay men, if they have hooked up. The interviews are honestly really hard to watch, and they show such a lack of preparation, and they also show such a lack of understanding of other people's experiences. I don't want to speak over like any women of color in this conversation or insert my opinion where it's not wanted, But I do want to touch on the gigglers defending Hannah. So a lot of the gigglers defending Hannah are saying she obviously didn't mean these comments in prejudice or like in a derogatory way, and she was clearly nervous, and we need to let people mess up and that kind of stuff, right? All the same like rhetoric that we always hear. And people will mess up. Absolutely. But when it's at the expense of others, then it's also okay for those people who have been hurt to express that and to call it out. And when it comes to the argument that Hannah didn't mean her comments like that, I think that's what makes this conversation even more valuable, because that is a huge part of the problem when it comes to microaggressions. A lot of people might not realize that they are making microaggressions because certain stereotypes or beliefs or tropes are just so subconsciously ingrained in us from society. And it takes work, and it takes putting your ego aside to remove that and to question, like, why did I say that? Or why am I thinking like that? Or why am I making that association? And when you're at a place where you're getting an opportunity like this, the level of professionalism and the level of self-reflection and understanding and work that I think you need to do, like, it just needs to be better. That's not to say that we're not always working on ourselves. That's not to say that it's ever going to be done. And that's not to say that people can't mess up. But this many huge mess ups all at once, there is a problem here. And of course, there's also now a conversation like podcast hosts and influencers shouldn't be doing red carpet stuff. I agree with that, and I don't agree with that. I agree with it on one hand. I mean, for case in point. But I also think like Teffy, I think Drew Afualo, like I think they are great examples of women that have parlayed that type of career into something bigger. And I think their red carpet interviews and stuff are amazing. I think we do have some good examples of that. But I think where a lot of these hosts go wrong or influencers go wrong is like, it's not about you. You know, like I think a lot of people go into this industry because they want to be famous themselves. And unfortunately, if you're being asked to interview people on a red carpet, that's about them. That's about the celebrity. You're not the one being interviewed. You know, this is you giving them a platform. You are facilitating an opportunity for them. You're not trying to have your own moment. And that, I think, is where Hannah went wrong. I kind of think Paige went wrong there too. I think she was definitely like more graceful, more professional than Hannah, but I think as a duo, this is where they went wrong. It's not your opportunity to show the audience how quirky and funny you are. Like I said, I've never listened to Giggly Squad. I've seen a lot of people be like, I'm not shocked, but I was shocked because it was just so blatant. I think Hannah is definitely gonna need to make some type of statement. I hope this does help her reflect on her biases. I fear it might not. There are also a lot of people who are talking about different instances on Giggly Squad now that I guess, I don't know if they've been removed or if it's just been a long time ago where the girls have said things that were along similar lines or just things that they should have probably addressed or apologized and haven't. But I don't think that Hannah and Paige, unless they do some damage control, are going to be asked back for an opportunity like this soon. All right, guys. Well, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please rate, review, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 1,000 Spotify reviews. Please star rate us. There will be a deep dive tomorrow, and then I will talk to you on Monday. Bye.